Speaker, I'm happy to yield next to another gentleman who's been very faithful to deliver this message to the American people week in and week out, the great gentleman from California, Mr. LaMalfa.
Thank you, my colleague from Louisiana, Mr. Johnson, for faithfully helping us get the message out, facilitating that, because that's really important, is that we're talking to the American people, to the public about this situation that we don't have to be in. Indeed, we've seen, with the fairly new Biden administration, that inflation has risen tremendously. Now, I don't get pleasure out of bagging on the president or anybody else in this thing, but we just have to go to the core of the issue, and the policies that have been put into place have harmed the U.S. economy, harmed regular families. The cost of fuel has been an especially noticeable part of this. In my home state of California, we always enjoy extra costs because of the way things are done there. You know, if it's $4 for a gallon of gas in the rest of the country, it's $5.50 at my home state because of the dumb things we do out there. So this recent surge, indeed, is affecting everybody, but it's an even greater burden on rural residents. They have to drive longer distances. Maybe their jobs in agriculture or timber or mining are more based on the usage of fuel and other inputs that are fuel related. So that means that there's less exports of things that are produced in rural America, less services. There's less employment going to be as a result of this too, because of the high cost of everything. We're seeing, talking to some truckers, we're seeing there's a point where they can't deliver anymore because they can't afford the fuel soon. Imagine that when you go to the retail level and you can't get the normal things off the shelf you're used to. We're already seeing that. There's less food choices, there are less choices. You're waiting longer for parts to come to repair vehicles or do anything else. So when rural residents especially have to drive longer to do anything, whether it's to take kids to school, get to health services, pick up goods you need to do your job, it's just that much greater of a burden at these prices. So take law enforcement, for example. Now, cops, especially rural ones, they got a lot of driving to do to cover those rural areas, and their costs are going through the roof. That means counties, small cities are bearing a greater burden just to try and keep patrols out there. So that's indeed a detrimental effect on basic public safety. Farmers too, we're getting ready to plant our crop on our farm here. I don't even want to know what the fuel price is to top off my tanks, but I have to, because it's so high, and that's going to be passed on to the shelves at the stores for people to buy food all across the country, or the farmer's going to go out of business if he can't get the price he needs to at the store. Rural jobs are extremely important for our economy. They produce the things that people eat, the fiber they use to wear clothes, the wood and the paper products we use for our homes and for our business. It's really, really high time we take action and produce the energy in this country, because we can, we should, and we can affect the world market and make it where Russia's not making a killing off their energy, because it's a supply and demand issue. If we fill the marketplace with low-cost energy, we'll bring all this back in line. We'll be in a better position as a nation, our colleagues, our neighbors in the western part of Europe, and cripple Putin's ability to make a killing off of what he's doing. So I thank you for the time, and I yield back, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you so much, my friend, and there are so many consequences